Hey, what up, everybody? It's your boy Eric, aka the Small Town Loser. And I just want to know, man. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this, but social media will make you feel broke, behind, ugly, and unproductive in 7 minutes. I'm telling you, it's so crazy how that happens, right? Everybody's rich by the time they're 23. It wasn't me. I don't know who it was, but it sure as heck wasn't me. Everybody out there has got abs all year round. Everybody has the relationship from the heavens. I'm telling you. And everybody's grinding harder than you ever have. It's crazy. People are flying in helicopters. People are going out there making bands. They're showing big stacks of money, right? Isn't that so crazy though? Because you'll look at your life, your bank account empty, you probably got food on the table, you got things going on, but what happens, right? You got this Joe Schmo over here not doing nothing, right? But somehow he got bands. He's out there with the abs. He's got the girls. She's doing that. It's crazy out here in the world, dude. You can be anybody you want to on social media. It's so insane to me because time and time again, did I say time? Because time again, every time people are always out there pretending like they got it all figured out. They're always pretending like they got all this money and they're doing all this stuff. And some of them might be winning like that. But a lot of the times, it's just the rent money they're flashing, or they're flashing some other stuff that they got going on. But you don't see the problems behind it. It's so easy to get caught up every day. Am I right? Getting so caught up just comparing yourselves to X, Y, and Z because they got their chance at this. Or maybe they had all this time grinding in the shadows and now they're starting to win, but they just came out. But they probably been in the rap game or they've been in this and that sphere for 10 years without even having any shine. And then one day it just happens, it just appears. It's crazy how that happens, right? Everything just seems to fall in line for them, but then for us, it just seems like it always misses. And so you go ahead, you got the belly, you ain't got the nice shoes, you ain't got nothing going on for yourself. It's crazy, man. But I'm gonna let you know, truthfully, I've been in your shoes, and that's why we gotta talk about it today. And listen, I want to go ahead, before I start about everything, I want to go ahead and apologize to you guys for not having the episode out when I was supposed to. But I got to be honest. I had a baby, so I've been grinding on that. We just had our daughter. Shout out. So the thing of it is with everything going on, I've been so focused on that and so focused on the healing and so focused on everything going on in my life and trying to figure out my job and trying to figure out everything else going on. So that's why everything was laid back for a couple weeks. And so I apologize for that for you guys because I know that I just started the podcast. But you know what? God had other plans. And so I had to do what I had to do for my family. I had to make sure that they were good so that I can continue to do this. Because guess what, dude? My girl and my life, my family, that is the glue. That is the motivation. That is everything to me. So I have to make sure that they're good, make sure that they're cool so that then I can do this stuff and try to get this going. Because that's the thing. At the end of the day, if it infringes with my family, then I can't entertain something. You know what I mean? I can't just go out there and do X, Y, and Z and just be out and doing whatever. It has to make sense for my family. You feel me? So that's kind of the whole gist of it. And that's why I just wanted to say that. My fault. I apologize greatly for not having everything out for you guys in a timely manner and not grinding as heavy as I have been. But you know what, dude? Being a dad has been the biggest blessing to me in my life. I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm not trying to be weird or nothing like that. But guys, I never even had a dad. So get to be one and be there for my family is a blessing. And it's so crazy how many people out there just ain't in the business, bro. They got kids, but they ain't dads. They're not being fathers. They're not being providers. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm not saying it can't be no neutral gender role type deal. That's not what I'm saying. I can't speak for moms. I'm not a mom.
I am your father.
I'm just talking about what fits in my life and my dynamic. So for me personally, it's such a blessing to be there for my family, for my kids, to make sure that all of them are good and make sure that everything's cool. So shout out to that and shout out to all the dads out there making it happen. So hopefully you guys understand. And I just wanted to make sure that I said that to you guys so that you guys realize how much I do love y'all and I appreciate every single one of you guys. Hey man, if you guys want to go ahead and just drop some comments down there and reprimand me and let me know your piece, go ahead. I really do appreciate y'all and all the love that y'all give. So let's get back to the show. So this is the small town loser trying to win without pretending that we have it all figured out. See, the fact is, the reason why I even brought this whole episode to light is because I know a lot of the times I see homies, I see other artists, I see people on the YouTube sphere who are having hundreds of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They're going out and getting all this bread, getting all this stuff, and I start to compare myself, right? Because I want to give my family every single fortune that I possibly can for them. I want to be able to give them everything that they need in life. And sometimes I see other people out there that are doing X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. If they're going and they're traveling to different places, people are recognizing their music, their bars are better, or whatever, or their YouTube channels pop in. Sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, I've been there in the past where I've gotten my ego and I allowed myself to compare myself and feel all down about myself, even though in my head, oh, bro, but my content's this and my content's that. I've done that 100 times. And a lot of the times what ends up happening is I keep comparing myself. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing this? What is this? How can I do this better? But a lot of the times when you start to do that, if you don't keep your emotions in check, you start to compare yourself and start putting yourself down in the dumps like you're not good enough. When in reality, you ain't just got the reps in yet. You got to just keep it going. You got to be disciplined. You got to make it happen. And a lot of the times we just tend to throw ourselves into the trash. We make jokes and we play around about how we're dumb and we're stupid and we're this and we're that. And it just tends to keep bringing us down and then not going out and doing whatever, right? Because sometimes you could just hit up these people, right? I see a lot of people out there that are grinding. Shout out to my homie Tony G. He's out there grinding every day. He's got his YouTube channel popping. He's got going out and getting music videos done. He's making all this stuff. And sometimes I've caught myself, dude, just comparing myself. Man, why my videos not doing pops like him? Or how come he's doing this and doing that? And then you got to really check yourself because it's so easy to go in and just compare yourself 10 times and times. But you know what? It's Tony G and other artists are other artists and I'm me. And I have to be the one to put that into perspective and just say, hey, my time will come and my things will happen. And that's how I have to put it because God has a plan. And God has a plan for me. And God has a plan for you. We can't sit there and compare ourselves because if we were in their shoes, we may not even survive that. We may not even love where they're at, and how we will learn only how much struggle they had to go through to get to that and how many reps they had to put in and how many sleepless nights and things like that. And so that's why when I say these things, it's like shout out to my boy Tony G, shout out to my boy everybody, dude, like Abel, AC Delgado, shout out to everybody. It's crazy how many artists out there grinding and how much time they really put in and the reps that they put in. And that's why they have the numbers and that's why they were putting themselves in and throwing themselves out there. And one day they got lucky enough to catch the right people to push them forward. And they put in all those nights and all those things and all those efforts in to make it happen. And that's what I had to understand for myself was that I personally am comparing myself to these people when in reality, dude, I'm doing just as good as them. They're over there comparing themselves to me. They're seeing what I'm doing as big moves, but because I'm in the pot and I'm watching and I'm in it, I don't notice it that it's boiling. I don't notice that I'm cooking. And that's really what it is at the end of the day is like we got to give ourselves praise and focus on that. Stop focusing so much on that. Oh, but so-and-so is doing this or these people got this kind of car, this and that. But when I used to do financing and I was trying to get into this whole pyramid scheme, Primerica, they did teach me some valuable things, but it was definitely not worth doing it. Do not do those pyramid scheme things, I just want to say. But I got caught up in that. I did learn that so many people out there in the world don't really got it like that.
What?
Okay, them big ballers with the Benzes are in debt. They are not, they are leasing, they are financing. They just were lucky enough to make their first purchases be certain things, or their parents set them up, or some people just have trust funds and they're lucky. It just kind of happens that way. But sometimes things happen because they got to learn a lesson. God puts those things in motion because they need to learn a lesson, or they learned a lesson and they were able to elevate. So we got to check ourselves. I got to check myself. You got to check yourself and make sure that you can put yourself into the right moves. We can't go out here and just compare ourselves. You and me, we're winners, but we're winners in our own time, and some things take longer to grow. That's what it is. I had to check myself because I was throwing myself to the wolves, and I was sitting there the whole time just picking at myself. Well, why am I not doing this right? Or how come I didn't get this position? Or how come I didn't do that? But you just got to just let it be and really reflect on yourself and check your energy, check your ego, and make sure that you put that to the side. A good book, if you guys ever want to check it out, is called Ego is the Enemy. If you ever read that book, it'll show you so much of things that you're doing. It'll make you feel naked inside, because I love books like that. If I can get a book that makes me feel like, oh, yo, this is talking to me. I know that if you read that book, you're going to feel a certain way, and that's going to be the best thing for you, because you're going to realize and you're going to open up in your mind that, you know what, maybe it is just me and I'm making this personal and I'm personally beating myself up. When in reality, we can make it happen. You can go out there and get that bag. You can go out there and do it the right way. And beautiful things take time. Cement takes time to dry. You don't just build on sand just because it's down there. You got to make sure you build the foundation, and you got to make sure that thing is leveled. Because if you don't, guess what? You're going to be building on a house of sand, and it turns into a leaning tower of loser. You feel me? But that's why I got to tell y'all. So listen, let me be clear. There's so many people that I literally thought that had their lives together. Like they were making all the right moves and everything was going on. But behind the scenes, they didn't have the money like they said they did, that they were flashing. They didn't put themselves into the right spaces. Behind the scenes, they're fighting with their baby mama. They're going out there not being able to see their kids. They're out there doing drugs and getting crazy, but they're saying that they're Christian and they're doing this. It's crazy out there, but people truly are doing so much behind the scenes that you don't know. And it could be a good thing too, but they have teams and people that they've hired because they've done so many repetitions of doing it that they now know that they can assemble it and give it to somebody else who knows how to do it, and they invest themselves to do that. But it doesn't have to be like that sometimes. You have to put in the reps. You have to do the steps. You have to go out there and make it happen for yourself. But you cannot stop what you're doing and compare yourself to somebody else who's been doing it for such a long time. Certain people have been out there before the scene making their own established lives and their own goals. And so that's the whole gist of it. We have to figure out for ourselves what we can do to make it. It's never going to happen by comparing ourselves to somebody else, to hate on people. And a lot of that happens on the audience side because it's so easy to be the fat dude on the couch watching the UFC fighter and tell him what he could do better.
Fucking Chuck Norris.
That's just what it is at the end of the day. It's so easy to hate, and it's such a low-hanging fruit. That's what people have to do. And so it makes us feel like we're so not good enough because we see these other people getting all this praise. But guess what? They get the negative comments. They get people in their inbox. They get people telling them. And it's even bigger window than what we have right now. We have a lucky realm to where we can go in and just create and mess it up. And guess what? We can build off what the haters are saying. We can build off what people are doing and just keep making what we want to make and just slowly put ourselves into finding what works and then leaning into that. It doesn't happen overnight, but the fact is that people always have to compare themselves, right? They're always just going in and they're fishing, right? They're posting everything and they're trying to refresh it to make sure the views are coming in. They're always trying to make sure that they're doing other stuff. And the fact is, it's like people out there don't realize that, guess what? You are the only you out there, and you can make something happen for yourself, and you can reach to people that I can't reach out to. You can become the person out there in somebody's life that I could never do. And we will never know that. You will never know that if you don't put the time and the effort to actually grind and get yourself out there and do what you have to do.
Read all about it.
Because there's a lot of times in my life where I didn't post whatever I was posting because I felt like it wasn't good enough. I don't have a huge catalog of songs because I don't know how to record myself. You, in a sense, push record or whatever, but the audio engineering part is hard, so I always had to put myself in the times of others. And you know what? It's expensive. And I don't know if you know this, but diapers are expensive. I'm buying diapers, baby wipes. I'm paying bills. I'm making sure that this house stays afloat.
Stop making excuses.
Do I have the money to make music, or do I have the time to make music, or am I doing this?
Stop making excuses.
Gotta make sure the baby's good, and this is good, and that's good in the house, right? And that's just...
Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses.
I say all that because guess what? Life happens, and sometimes, dude, I personally have put myself on the ringer.
Right there,
I have made myself stop posting, stop making music, stop doing whatever because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I kept comparing myself to these people that I felt like weren't even doing anything that great. And I was just like, it just didn't work. I was like, dude, why are these people getting all the juice? Why are they getting all the shows? Why are they doing all the stuff? And what? They're not even rapping. They're not even making anything. They're not even saying anything in their music. But guess what? It's just how it goes. People are attracted to what they're attracted to. And what sounds good to them is, guess what? That's what it sounds good. The marketing behind it is what matters. And a lot of the times people will tend to just continuously compare and hate and put themselves into a box, put them up themselves into a closet space, bro, because they don't realize that they are good, but it's just that we're not marketing. You're not pushing yourself out there for everybody to see and finding your people. Instead, we're just posting it one time and we're not getting the satisfaction that we're supposed to get. Because there's 100 billion times where I thought this was going to be the song or this was going to be the thing, and then my YouTube shorts or my videos or like the song itself just doesn't get any traction. But we're going against people every day who are putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into advertisement, and they're putting so much money into investing, and they have people that back them. But guess what? I'm not doing that. I don't have all this extra money to throw in, and I haven't made the decision to go and do what I'm supposed to do. So guess what? I have to bite the bullet and do it the old-fashioned way with a phone and go in there and film it myself, edit it myself, put it all in myself, putting in the hours to go in and do it and making sure that it's okay. That's kind of how it goes. And even after you do all that, you can still have nothing to show for it. There's no way this is ever going to work out. And guess what? You're telling the universe that? I was telling the universe that. I was telling God that I can't do that. As a child of God who has every ounce of blood of Jesus inside of me, who can literally tell a mountain to be gone and have it wither away with that type of Holy Spirit, and telling myself that I couldn't be good enough to do the show. I couldn't be good enough to take my shirt off on stage. But guess what? I did that. I got to open up for artists like Stevie Stone, Afro Man, King Little G, G Perico, Baby Boy the Prince. So many people. Even with all that takes money. All that takes, people out there are throwing away their rent and living in a van.
I'm down by the river.
And just trying to make it happen and make it work. But that's what they had to do. Luckily now we could just continuously post on YouTube and grind and keep trying to put a little bit of money and a little bit of things behind it, just share and make it happen. And that's what it is at the end of the day. What are you willing to do? And it's, if you're putting in all that energy to compare yourself to somebody out there who is getting the praise and doing this and doing that, why don't we go out and try to reach out to them and see what they're doing and then talk to them about it and trying to figure out. But I will say there are hundreds of gatekeepers out there that will do everything in their power to stop you, because guess what? They see your shine. They see your progress. They see your stuff. And that's how come they act the way that they do. They see your natural pull, and they had to do all this extra stuff to get people to go in on you. I had this happen. I'm not going to tell you who the artist was, but there was an artist that I saw in, I don't know, like 2022 or something like that. And I did this show with Afro Man. And there was an artist that was on the tour that literally was going, his music was weird. Yeah. It just wasn't my taste. I'm not hating on it. This guy has motion. He's going and doing all these shows. He's doing all this stuff. I asked him, I was like, hey, bro, like, how can I get to your level, or how can I help you? What can I do for you to help me so that we can make something happen, right? No, hombre, he was like, bro, I just believe in myself, or I just do this. And it wasn't like anything that could be beneficial to help. Instead, it was like, I did all this to do it for me, dude. You'd have to figure it out for you. Good luck.
I'm blind! I'm blind! What?
Boom. And people do that. And guess what? It's going to happen time and time again. But if you keep knocking on the door, somebody's going to answer and somebody's going to help you. We got to figure it out and make it happen. There's tons of YouTube videos. There's tons of products out there. There's so many people out there that can help you. And you just got to knock on the door. And if you're comparing yourself to people, go be friends with those people that make you feel so insecure about what you're doing. Go out there and knock on their doors, see all these people that are winning out there, and then slowly build your network and build yourself up, because that's what's going to get it.
Brain blast!
At the end of the day, I have done it, and I have failed so many times. So many times. Okay, that's why I'm proud to call myself a small town loser, because at the end of the day, I know that I had to go through the ringer. I had to put myself out there. I had to take my shirt off on stage. I had to go out there and make this cringy YouTube video because I wanted and I believed in myself. And I know that you believe in yourself, and you can make it happen if you just put yourself out there to go do it.
Just do it!
You know what I mean? And look, man, here's my hot take. Most people online aren't more successful. They're just more consistent. Because that's the fact is that the algorithm rewards confidence, not the truth. It doesn't matter. There's so many people out there that are so talented, and they're going out there and they're making all this awesome content and they're putting all this money into it. But if they do one awesome thing and it builds them the traction, then they fall off. Then they wait a couple months and they wait a couple months and they come back. They wait a year and they come back. Social media will only reward those people who are constantly using their platform. They're constantly making content and they're constantly putting themselves out there. And that's why it's like, dude, there's so many people out there that talk all this big game and put all this money into one thing, and then guess what? They don't have anything else out there. They don't put any more content out there to support that project, right? For me, and I talk about music a lot because I do music.
What?
I was making mixtape after mixtape, and I was doing a whole bunch of other stuff on the side, but I wasn't putting anything on DistroKid. I wasn't making it accessible to anybody else. And when I didn't put anything as far as social media out there, making live videos or shorts or anything like that. And so a lot of the times I would have this rise where I was doing all these shows and I was getting all this stuff and people wanted to hang out or whatever and do music with me and jump on my platform. And then it was like, what ends up happening, you get to this point where life happens, right? But you tend to back off or you get lazy or whatever. And then guess what? Because of that, it would just fall off and then you go crickets. And guess what? With social media and TikTok and everything, people are getting famous and dying out faster than they get put on. And that's just how it goes. So you have to figure out for yourself the consistency of how you can do it in small increments and keep growing naturally and make it happen. Because just like working out, right? If you just take a bunch of steroids and then work out, you may get the big muscles to get going, but your ligaments and your tendons, they tend to not grow with it. And guess what? Then you're all disproportionate and things happen. Granted, I understand. I am not a bodybuilder, so I hopefully sent that out in a more understanding way. Because the fact is, man, so many people out there don't realize that you can just make the stupidest video and keep making those stupid videos. And then as long as you kept doing it, it'll reward you with more people to view. It'll put more people towards your channels. It'll show more people your stuff because they know they can rely on you. And that's what's happening for me personally, is that I'm just constantly putting out more product, and I'm constantly always using their platforms and bringing more people to look at what I'm doing. And even if it brings me negative views and people hate what I'm doing, guess what? People liked it. Look at back in the day, like Lil Yachty, when he first came out, everybody hated him. It's the better than Bradley, right? That guy, everybody hated him. Personally, they were like, dude, this guy's trash. People hate him, da, da, da. But he was making billions, maybe, who knows? But he was doing something big, right? And it was all through the hatred because he was getting so many people to look at him. It's the same thing. People are going to hate what you're doing because it's so different at the time, or it's not going to be for everybody. But guess what? You can make a living. You can do so much by just putting yourself out there and sticking with it, even on the days that you don't want to do it, right? And just putting yourself out there more and just being more consistent. I say it because guess what? That's how consistent you have to be. You almost have to be annoying, and you have to put yourself out there and just keep doing what you're doing until something works and resonates with somebody else. Like, you have to just put that into play, right? Because when I first started doing my new tactic where I was doing all the shorts, and I was making quick little videos with my tripod and my cell phone of music that I already had. Guess what? At first, I was getting people talking bad about me on Facebook. They were doing statuses, generalized statuses, but nobody in their friend group else was out there doing music like that. There was people out there. I had beef with rappers I had no idea I had beef with, just because I was out there putting my old music with just a cool little background in the back and making sure that I had good lighting. That's all it was. And then just lining up my voice, and it wasn't perfect, but it happens. And guess what? The more that I did that, the more the right people resonated with that. And they were like, hey, they would go to my work and be like, dude, I just saw your video on YouTube, or yo, I just saw your video on Facebook. So I just want to say what's up, whatever. And it was bringing people into the dispensary. They were already going, I'm sure. It wasn't because of me, but it probably was a cool thing to be like, oh, dude, I saw you. So I don't know. It's my dream. Let me have it. And that's kind of the whole thing of it. It's like, bro, don't let other people go out there and try to tell you that it's because they got the moves or the juice. Nah, bro, it's all about just being consistent. And the more consistent you are in what you're doing, the more the social media gods that are out there will force that out there more and allow the floodgates to open up and get more people to watch your stuff. But when it happens, guess what? There's going to come hatred, and people are going to be mad because you're doing what they want to do, but they don't know how they want to do it. But they see that you're out there, and they're going to be checking their egos, and they should check their egos, but they are going to be in their feelings because they see that you're out there making it happen, and you're out there doing what you need to do. So that's what I'm saying. That's my hot take for today. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to just be amazing. You can make the dumbest videos. But as long as you're consistent and putting an effort into getting better every time, guess what? You're going to do way better than some idiot who's just talented. That's what it is. We have to become consistent. And when I was talking about those people that hated, guess what? It has been months and it's crickets from them. Those people that hated on me, guess what? They're not around anymore. They're doing other stuff that has nothing to do with me. They're so mad that I'm living and I'm doing what I'm doing that it made them just quit because they're not consistent, because they don't understand the sauce is consistency. It's a tripod, my cell phone, a couple lights, and then it's not just success. I haven't poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into this music that I already had, because guess what? There's millions of people out there that have never heard my music. There's millions of people out there that never have seen you and what you do, and you can do whatever you want to do and make it work for you. And the more that you're consistent about it, the more you put in the rep and the time in, you're going to make something work so beautifully, and it's going to be crafted so beautifully because you let it. And you kept at it, and you kept making it. And that's what it is. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Y'all got to realize that most people online aren't successful. They're just more consistent, right? How many times, I want y'all to put that underneath in the chat. All right, put that underneath in the comments. How many times you have felt this? And what did you do to try and overcome it? Drop that in the comments, dude, and let's see what we can get into. Trust fall, whatever you guys want to call it. Check this out. I personally live in my head. I'm always overthinking everything that's going on. I'm always extra worried about what this person thinks of me, or what these people are doing, or how many people are plotting on me, when are they gonna leave, all that kind of stuff. All right, I'm not perfect. But the thing of it is, I had multiple opportunities that I overthought and kicked myself out of a good opportunity and ruined everything. A good, relatable one that I can remember off the top of my head was, I'm working at the job that I am now. I ended up becoming a lead, but I could have been a lead a lot earlier in life, because what happened, all right, I had a situation where the company was bought by another company and all this stuff happened, and they were starting to open another store in another part of town. And so when that was going on, they were asking people to be leads. And for me, I was cool where I was at in this vault. What if I didn't do really good here? I know that sometimes I come in a little late. I know that I don't really need all this extra stuff, whatever, right? I can't do it. I don't know. I'm kind of dumb. I kept doing stuff like that. I kept talking down to myself, and I missed the opportunity by literal inches. So when I finally convinced myself that I wanted to go out there and apply to be a lead, guess what? Somebody came in right before me and got the position by just saying, hey, I'll do it. Oh, and can I get weekends off and this and that? And they gave them everything that they wanted. I could have literally have done the exact same thing, just passed me the ball. You know what I mean? But because I was overthinking and I wasn't allowing myself to just take the opportunity, because they were talking to me about it. They were telling me like, hey, dude, I think you could do good here. And I was going through some other stuff in life, but that's neither here nor there. I personally kept overthinking about it, and I didn't get the opportunity. I kept comparing myself to other people at my work and realized why they were better in this and they were better at that. And they didn't even apply for the job. So the second time around, and this was like, I don't know, 2 years later, I had an opportunity at the same job to become a lead, but it was temporary. I was going to be a temporary lead just to cover people off on paternity leave. And I was like, you know what? I remembered the last time where I didn't take the opportunity, and I was like, nah, and I was making only $16 an hour. I just got demoted from the position I was because the position was or demolished, whatever you want to call it. But they just basically disintegrated the entire vault person, whatever, and they only had the leads. And so they already had their leads. I missed my opportunity, but guess what? 2 years later, I had an opportunity where they were telling people that these people were leaving, and they were both leads. And so I remember I went into the office and I told them, I was like, hey, if you guys need somebody to come in and whatever, I want to grow within the company. Let me know whatever you guys need. I'm willing to do it. And guess what? They gave me the position, but they told me at the time it was going to be temporary. You're not going to have this for a long time. We're going to just have you here to cover them, and then we'll put you back down to where you're going to be. But I was like, dude, you know what? If this at least puts me in the door, then guess what? That's what'll be cool. Because at least I'll have the experience to go out there and be like, just to put my hat in the ring. And that's what happened, was like, because I was overthinking, I missed the opportunity. But because I put myself out there and I kept knocking on the door, even 2 years later, right? I was still grinding. I was still coming up to work. I was still putting in the extra effort because I knew that I wanted to have a better life in some way. And I wanted to grow within the company in some way. And that's what happened, was I ended up getting the position. It was temporary, but because of the opportunity and because of how well I did, I guess, I'm assuming, because I'm awesome. I'm just kidding. But they basically were like, hey, you know what? We're going to keep your position open. You're going to be a floating lead. And I've been a lead at my store now for 2 years now. I've been a lead at my store now for 2 years. And all because I took the opportunity, and so many people were asked. They were like, I wasn't even the one that was asked to do it. I was a person that just said, hey, if you need somebody, guess what? I'll be there. And I had no idea about the paternity leave, maternity leave, any of that. So I just went in there and just said, hey, if you guys ever need somebody, I'm there. And guess what? Because I was consistent and I kept coming in and I kept doing all that, they put me in. I didn't miss days. I never called out. I made sure that I covered people's shifts and I put myself into the ring, and guess what? I got it. But because I was consistent and I was going out there and I didn't let my brain tell me that I couldn't do it. There was multiple times where I wasn't going to be able to even go to Africa because I was so nervous that I wasn't going through enough, that people wouldn't like me when I auditioned. But guess what? I did. And I ended up going on to this life change reality show thing that was supposed to be a show. What was it? It was a show that was supposed to bring positivity, a 700 Club type thing. But we went to Africa for free and stayed in Nelson Mandela's house for a couple hours. And we were supposed to talk to him, but he was sick. So we hung out with his grandson. We went to the Oliphant River Lodge. We were in Johannesburg and a bunch of other places in Africa, and we got lost. It was crazy. If you guys want me to tell you the full story about that, drop that in the comments. Just put Africa Life Change in the comments. Let's get, if I can get so many likes, let's say if I can get 10 comments that say Africa Life Change, then I'll go ahead and I'll tell you guys the full story about that. But I just want to say that there was times where I was like, nah, and I was on felony probation at the time, and I was going through a lot. But because I graduated from this class, my probation adult teacher thing, she ended up putting my name in the ring to my vice principal, whose sister was Ariana Lauder or Ariana Zucker, and got me in the ring to this audition that had Emmett and Weezer and Payette and everyone and all these different people all inside of it. And so I was able to audition and get it because I didn't allow myself to just be in prison. And that's how it works. You have to show up and you have to go out and you have to do it in the best way possible, even when you feel like nobody's watching and there's no way it can happen. That's what it takes. That's what overthinking does to you, is that it puts you away from it and it stops you from every opportunity that you can have. And so you have to go out of your way to shut your brain and just go out there and do it and make yourself look stupid. All right, just make it happen, because if you don't, then you'll always miss every ball that you don't swing at. I don't know, something to think about. And look, right now, let me go ahead and give y'all this trying to win update that's going on. I still post, I still try, and even when I feel behind, I'm still going out there trying to make it happen. And honestly, the reason why I still build is just because I know that there's somebody out there that likes this content, all right? That they want to see me succeed. And there's so many people out there that have been so supportive of me throughout the years that I feel like I have to. I can't just quit, because it would be in vain of all the people out there, alive and dead, who supported me and bought CDs and showed love and spent time and grinded with me. There's so many people out there. And if nothing else, there is so many people out there who passed away who didn't live to their full life potential, either because they died so young or because they just didn't take the effort to go out and do it. And I'm not talking ill of the dead. What I'm saying is that there's people out there who have passed on who lived in a life of regret. And I just don't want to do that or to build content that will cause that in you. I want to make you be motivated to go out there and do it. And if I can save one person, if I could just save you, then my life is complete, because I know I did everything in my life to go out and to do what was right, what God has put me in this earth to do, and that's to just try to be a bright light in this area. That's it. There's somebody out there, I think it was like Tupac or somebody that said it, that I don't want to be the person that changes the world. I just want to be the droplet that causes the ripple effect to go out and change the world for those people. And if I could do something like that, if I could put a fire in the right person to go out there and make the best life that they possibly can, I will die a happy man. If I never make $1,000,000, that's all right. But if I could do something in this world to make life a little bit better and do something good for you, I feel like personally that's better than anything else out there in the world. And I can do so much with that. And I will be so happy about that. That's why I'm doing this whole podcast. That's why I'm out here making the effort and putting in the effort, because I feel like there's somebody out there that deserves to hear this, that wants to hear and get the permission to go out there and do whatever it is that they want to go do. And they look like me, or they act like me, or they feel like me. And there's somebody out there that I can help to go out there to go be the best person of themselves, even if nobody believes in them. And there's so many people out there that believe in me, that still produce and show love and send me beats or whatever. Dude, those people out there, I owe my life to, and I thank them every day. And I praise God every day for those people. And that's why I can't give up. That's why this whole podcast exists, is because I want to show the world that they can go out there and be the person that they want to be. And it doesn't have to be this 9 to 5 easy grind. If that's not what you want, and you want to live a life like this, or you want to try and figure out a way for you, that's why I made this podcast, so that I can show you that a small town loser can do it too. You feel me? And that's what I'm saying, dude. That's why I can't quit. And I was saying, so many people out there have literally died never achieving a dream or never even trying. And if that's the case, why wouldn't I try? Why would I put all this wasted effort, quote unquote, into music, into everything, if I'm never was really going to see it through? And that's what it is. You got to put yourself out there, and that's why I'm out here doing it, because I want to motivate you into becoming a better person. I want to put a light into the world that's going to help guide people, to help guide people to the Lord, to help guide people to their better self, to align them into the light, the path of everything that they're supposed to be. And that's why I'm here. Small town loser is a variable for a successful person in you. That's what it is at the end of the day. And that's why I wanted to do this with y'all. And I do this for y'all because I love y'all. And I appreciate everybody who comes, supports, and who shows love to the music and does all the stuff. You know what? And I love the haters. I love all the haters out there that are going in and talking smack on the comments, who are going out there and talking all this gibberish and talking bad about me to their friends. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all, and I pray for you guys, because I know deep down that you guys have a problem within yourselves, and you want to reflect that onto me, and that's cool. Because you know what? If I can be that pincushion for you, then hey, you know what? That's what we're here for, dude. Just like Jesus, when he died on the cross and he went through and said, they do not know what they do. Forgive them, Father, because they do not know. That's what I'm saying to y'all. I forgive y'all, because at the end of it is, hey, my guy, it's all good. You're going to get what you get by what you produce in your life. And this podcast here is going to produce what it produces to try and make a better life. And if that's something that it motivates you because you hate me so much, then I hope all the best for you. I love you. And I hope the best for y'all. But look, listen, before everything, I just want to say at the end of all this, thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do here. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, because at the end, don't compare yourself to your friends. Don't compare yourself to somebody else, because you don't know who they really are. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the life that they had to live and what they have to go through to be the person that they have to be. So just do what you can to build a network. Because guess what? I think it was like Thomas Edison that says something like in the 48 laws of power, where it's like you don't have to be the person that knows everything. You can hire all the people who know everything and have them work for you, and that's real power. So network with these people. Surround yourself with people who are doing so much better than you that you have no choice else but to learn. I love y'all. And again, remember, dude, it's small town loser, just so that you can go ahead and win. We don't pretend that we have it all figured out. We're just trying to make it to the next day and win, baby. I love y'all. And remember, it's higher thinking, higher living, small town loser. Peace.